Welcome to On This Day in Tudor History with me, Claire Ridgway. Now I'm taking you back today to the reign of King Henry VIII. For on this day in Tudor history, the 14th of June 1536, Sir Anthony Browne and Sir Francis Bryan were interrogated regarding their alleged support of Mary, daughter of King Henry VIII, by Catherine of Aragon. Back in 1534, following the birth of Mary's half-sister Elizabeth, daughter of Anne Boleyn, the first Act of Succession had been passed, which made Mary illegitimate and removed her from the line of succession. On the 8th of June 1536, the second Act of Succession confirmed Mary's status as illegitimate and removed from the succession, and also made Elizabeth the same. The king now had no legitimate children, just 3 illegitimate ones: 20-year-old Mary, 2-year-old Elizabeth, and 17-year-old Henry Fitzroy, Duke of Richmond and Somerset. In the lead up to Anne Boleyn's fall in the spring of 1536, a group of Catholic conservatives, supporters of Mary, were working alongside the Seymour family to coach Jane Seymour in how to appeal to King Henry VIII, how to act with him, and what to say to him regarding his second marriage. This group included Sir Nicholas Carew, the Marquess and Marchioness of Exeter, the Countess of Kildare, and Baron Montague. They were also close to Eustace Chapuis, the imperial ambassador, and appear to have joined forces with Thomas Cromwell when it became clear that he was working to bring down Anne Boleyn. Sir Francis Bryan, someone who'd previously been connected with his relatives the Boleyns, had become close to the Seymours by the spring of 1536. And Sir Anthony Browne, a conservative Catholic, along with Sir William Fitzwilliam, helped Thomas Cromwell in May 1536 with the machinery involved in Anne's fall. According to Lancelot de Carle, secretary to the French ambassador, Browne's sister, the Countess of Worcester, had told Browne in an argument over her own immoral behaviour that Queen Anne was far worse, being inappropriately close with a musician and her brother. Despite their help with getting rid of Anne Boleyn, once Anne was out of the way, Cromwell appears to have turned on the Catholic conservatives. Carew, Montague and Exeter ended up being executed as traitors for allegedly conspiring with Cardinal Pole against King Henry VIII. Sir William Fitzwilliam was briefly removed from the Privy Council, and Sir Francis Bryan and Sir Anthony Browne were interrogated regarding their alleged support of Mary. During his interrogation, Browne stated that he had never thought the marriage between the king and the dowager lawful, after the king had raised doubts about it and requested an annulment. He went on to say that when Carew had shown him a letter from Mary and told him that Cromwell had written to her advising her to submit to the king, that he, Browne, prayed God to give her grace so to do. When he was examined as to why he had such affection for Mary, Browne answered that he was only moved thereunto for the love he beareth to the king, for he never received letter, messages, token, or recommendations from her, nor hath sent her any. Browne also denied wishing Mary's preferment over a daughter by the present queen, stating that he only thought her to be a meet heir apparent if the king did not have issue by the present queen. When Sir Francis Bryan was interrogated on whether he had heard any other person say anything concerning the Lady Mary, he stated that he had heard fellows of the Privy Chamber, including Browne and Carew, speak generally of the Lady Mary, saying that they rejoiced that the king had escaped this great peril and danger, and that the issue the king might have if he took another wife should be out of all doubt. But if the king wished to make an heir apparent in defect of such issue, they thought Lady Mary was meet if it stood with the king's pleasure. And he also told of how Bess Darrell, who was Thomas Wyatt's mistress, when she'd sought his help to recover money that Catherine of Aragon had bequeathed her, had mentioned that she saw no hope in the Lady Mary, for she heard say that she would not be obedient to the king. He went on to deny hearing of any communication of the validity of Henry VIII's marriage to Catherine, or mention of the term bona fide parentum with regards to Mary's status, i.e. that she was born in good faith and so should be legitimate. Both Browne and Bryan managed to allay the king's suspicions, and both men went on to prove their loyalty by helping to put down the Pilgrimage of Grace rebellion in late 1536. They'd survived the blip of summer 1536 and served the monarch until their deaths, Browne in 1548 and Bryan in 1550. You can find out more about Sir Francis Bryan in my video from the 2nd of February, which I'll give you a link to in the description. And I'd also recommend Sarah Beth Watkins' book on him. Also on this day in Tudor history, the 14th of June 1571, Sir Christopher Danby died. He died a natural death, even though he'd been implicated in a rebellion. How did he survive that? Well, you can find out in last year's video, which I'll give you a link to as well. Thank you for joining me. You can subscribe by clicking round about there. You can hit the bell to be notified as these videos go live, and you can give me a like and leave me a comment. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.